to agenda-driven content.
Well, it wasn't a Me Too movement.
Hello, everyone.
Ubisoft went through an entire lawsuit process because of that.
I want to contrast the comments made in these interviews with what we've seen from Assassin's Creed Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws. This company has a deep-rooted leadership issue, going as far to think that the vast majority of online criticism is just a toxic minority of gamers.
Of course.
This company and its leadership think that they are on the righteous path. Little do they know, it's a dead end.
That sounds so stupid, but I believe it. And the reason why I believe it is because the CEO cited critic reviews for their games as a barometer for what the game's reception was. Like, I don't want to believe this, but I feel like I have to.
Assassin's Creed Shadows has been steeped in controversy and criticism since its initial reveal. Online discourse surrounding the game has been almost entirely negative, with long-term fans of the franchise, general audience, and Japanese audiences up in arms over the creative liberties that Ubisoft has taken with the depiction
really
of
nice,
Yasuke,
which
the
is
fabled
sad.
Black Samurai, and feudal Japan. Japanese creators, as well as just random bystanders, have taken to Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube and Reddit, voicing their concerns offended by the game's representation of their history and culture. Inaccuracies like using Chinese architecture instead of Japanese, the legitimacy and relevance of the game's protagonist Yasuke, and even going as far as stealing a flag and imagery from the Sekihara Teppo Tai, a historical reenactment group where the company had to formally apologize for not asking for permission to use their materials. Ubisoft
White people never stop colonizing. It's just what we do. Yeah, bro, we just can't help ourselves. We just can't stop. We have to keep doing it.
Ubisoft's
Oh my
adventure
God.
into Japanese history has been a complete disaster, and it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
On September 11th of 2024, an article was penned by the New York Times titled "The Fight Over Black Samurai in Assassin's Creed." The writer, Zachary Small, misrepresents the controversy and player concerns as merely those of a toxic minority of angry Western gamers, and the entire time he fixates on the race of Yasuke and not the broader implications at play in Ubisoft's mishandling and the frank disrespect for Japanese culture and history. This article was a collaboration between Ubisoft and the New York Times in an attempt to redirect the discussions surrounding Assassin's Creed Shadows and minimize the feedback. The writer spoke with Kazuma Hashimoto, a consultant and translator for the games industry, later to be found out to be an employee of Sweet Baby Incorporated that did consultant work for
Of course.
Ubisoft. But
There's no bias, there's no agenda here at all, guys. Yeah, they're just reporting the facts.
Hashimoto claimed that it was people in the West who were upset with seeing Yasuke as a samurai, and that many of the online negative comments were written in Japanese appeared to be roughly translated from English.
True. Actually true. And this is what journalists excel at. Journalists excel at telling half-truths, but focusing on the line.
Hand-waving the increasingly loud and valid concerns of the Japanese, asserting that it's all made-up outrage. Nothing more than the gamers' war against DEI or inclusivity in video games. I find it all too poetic and predictable for a AAA publisher to brush off player concerns and use their connections in the media to try to steer public discourse and sentiment into a favorable direction. All of these claims made by the New York Times, as well as other writers, are patently false. You can see
The problem is that I think this is a big issue, is that like traditional like print media is losing a lot of its relevance, and I think it's accelerating that loss. And I think that really they're getting eaten from like so many different perspectives. Like for example, people's literacy levels and ability to read information, I think, is going down. Like people are just bad at reading; they can't read. And not only can they not read, but even if they could read, they don't have the attention span to even want to read. So basically, they don't give a shit. Kids barely speak nowadays, exactly. So you have like a lower amount of people that you can reach fundamentally, right, because of that. And then you also have the issue where people are so radicalized about ideologies that they're unwilling to like listen to anything other than like what they've already heard. And I think that you put all of these problems together, and guess what you have? You have an audience of people, and then also, of course, like the media is, of course, like misrepresenting things. And I think that also one of the big problems the internet has presented for the media is that, like, you know, in the year 1985, the channels of broadcast were very limited. And so you couldn't really have a real contrary opinion because so many of these channels were monopolized by billion-dollar forces. But now on the internet, you can see things like WikiLeaks and stuff like that that can hold big corporations and big entities accountable in ways that they can't control. And I think this can be as big as something like WikiLeaks, or it can be in as little as something like this video game. And ultimately, that has done more to damage the credibility of print media than anything else, because it's shown that print media is oftentimes used as a tool for these organizations to maintain their power structure.
See the criticisms of Ubisoft's recent releases and the future release in Assassin's Creed Shadows everywhere. It's impossible to ignore. Videos and promotional material ratioed by dislikes and comments in mass numbers. Videos like mine and many others reaching widespread appeal because we have that many people that agree or share similar opinions. With that said, I couldn't imagine that it was...
I think also it's that he brings up a very good point that seems very stupid in face value, but I think it's incredibly accurate, is that when you see videos that are extremely successful and get tons of views that agree with you, it makes people think that they're not crazy and that their opinions are valid. I think that's the reason why YouTube removed the dislike bar, because the dislike bar was used against things that, you know, I would say brands didn't want to see happen. Like, because if you see, oh, everybody else hates this, how many of you guys have ever read an article or done something, and like you think the article's awful, and then the main top comment is saying exactly what you think, and it's like, yes, thank God I'm not crazy. You guys ever had this happen? Yeah, the dislike bar hurt tutorials though? No, it did, but it hurt everything. Right, exactly. And so we have this happen a lot. And I think what the outcome of that is that people are able to see that the like mainstream, I guess you could say, quote, narrative is not really the mainstream. It's just the most pushed.
Possible for anyone to ignore this level of feedback, and Ubisoft has to be seeing it. So I spoke with a few developers from Ubisoft to shed some light on these issues. I started off by asking how Ubisoft internalizes and discusses general criticism from players and the rest of the industry, whether that's its repetitive design, agenda-driven content, or predictable games. They responded saying, at a high level, they rarely talk about it. At a project level, they brush it off as toxic gamer talk. As Asmongold correctly pointed out in a video of his, Ubisoft is filled with toxic positivity that prevents any growth.
How about that? How about that? That's crazy. People always wonder, why is it that everybody watches me? This is the reason why. Because I've been fucking right. Yeah, I've been right. That's why. And also, by the way, I don't think that I'm being totally honest. I actually don't think that I'm like incredibly intelligent, but what I think that I do have is I have an insanely good memory, and I can make decisions on things based off of more factors than the average person can. And because of that, if I see something like this, I can think of more things in the past, like, oh yeah, this, other thing. I put all that together, and I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. But this is why people watch the videos. Ego going up? It is. Absolutely, but I was right.
I then asked, what about the Japanese community's backlash over Assassin's Creed Shadows? It's obvious that they haven't done their research, and even the smallest details are going to be noticed by a culture that's as loud as the Japanese. They responded by saying that the criticisms haven't been talked about, and they've only issued demands that we mustn't engage with
I'm going into my other game.
publicly.
Just don't talk about it. Problem solved.
Meaning everything that we've set up into this point, all the criticism that we've had over the years for Ubisoft games, even that of the industry itself, has fallen on deaf ears. I don't know if it's sad or if it's somewhat, yeah, you know, it's somewhat cathartic to have that validated. I mean, it's the main
Well, it's
complaint.
obvious. I mean, again, like, you don't have to be a fucking genius to admit this or to acknowledge this. I feel like, again, you know, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. I feel like that's how I feel a lot of times saying this stuff. I don't think this is any sort of fucking revelation. This isn't any sort of like, wow, this is some divine insight that's brought to me in a dream. No, it's common fucking sense this would happen. Of course.
That the vast majority of gamers have had over the years, which is that these companies aren't listening to us. And in this case, I have developers that are telling me, yeah, they're not listening to you.
Of course.
One, because they don't want to take criticism, and two, because they don't know how to differentiate bad from good criticism.
Of course.
I think this is my patented catchphrase by now, but when you have this much negative discourse surrounding your games, you need to be listening. Regardless of whether or not it's good or bad feedback in your eyes, regardless if you align with these people's political beliefs or social political beliefs.
This is a problem that a lot of artists have, and it's a problem that I think that artists that are trying to exist in a commercial space have, because a lot of artists believe in the moral good of whatever art they're making. Like, very few artists believe that they're actually, like, morally bad people. And so, because they think that they're doing a good thing, well, they view anybody who's criticizing them as a morally bad person. I think that's what happens the most. Is it arrogance? Well, it's arrogance, but like it's a simplification. What I'm saying is that artists view their art as a expression of themselves. And in the process of them feeling it like an expression of themselves, they take criticism against it personally, and it's why they have a harder time listening to feedback and criticism.
Whatever it might be. None of that matters. When you have your games on fire as much as Ubisoft games have been lately, you need to put those fires out somehow. And the only way that you can do that is by listening to them and implementing whatever feedback you possibly can into your games to make them better.
So many unanswered
Regardless, the other thing is, I'm sorry. I am sick of, I am disgusted by the blatant, feigned virtue over how much they care about Japanese culture and history. I'm sorry. You are bastardizing Japanese culture and history for profit. That's...
As I said, bro, like, we're white people, right? This is what we do. We take over somebody's culture, we change it, and then we say, thank
You
God
fucking prick! Get out of there!
that we've saved you. We've saved you from yourselves. This is what we do. We've been doing it for a really long time, and it's just happening again.
That's what you're trying to do here. You're not trying to make a history piece. We know
It's a
that. It's
generalization.
loosely based on, very loosely based on Japanese culture and history. Look at you guys. You put out a Torigate figurine, a half Torigate figurine with your characters on it, without knowing the cultural relevance of the half Torigate? After
Got
Hiroshima
destroyed in World War II.
and Nagasaki? Do you have any idea what that means to these people?
They use Tectone as a consultant for this.
What's wrong with you? At the end of the day, it all comes down to leadership.
It's actually very easy to understand what's wrong with them. There are people that are bored. They have a tremendous sense of internalized guilt, and they think by doing this kind of stuff, they're being a good person. Once you understand that most people's actions are only taken in order to make themselves feel better or to serve some personal goal, then as soon as you figure that out and you start operating under that pretense, everything else that a person does makes immediate sense. The Pega, I'm helping. Yeah, exactly. It's self-righteousness. Exactly.
When you look at Ubisoft's messaging, the lackluster delivery of titles like X-Defiant and Star Wars Outlaws, the inaccuracies and screw-ups with Assassin's Creed Shadows, you see a developer that has no clear plan or vision of what players want, what good games look like, or how to even do their job.
Yep. Oh, whiskey is the life of man. Oh, whiskey, Johnny. I drink whiskey when I can.
Jeez.
For I have plowed the raging main this 20 years or more. But now I'm turned adrift to starve upon my native shore. By raging storms and tempests, shipwreck 3 times I've been, and many a bloody battle upon the seas I've seen. I've seen the cannon's glaring flash, I've heard its thunderous roar. Though now I'm turned adrift to starve upon my native shore. Should hostile fleets avenge
Damn it.
lead off speed. Set more sail. As I jingled in my tin, I was sadly taken in by a lady of the name of Maggie Hay. To sail upon Van Diemen's cruel shore. Oh, you rob so many whalers and many drunken sailors, but you'll never cruise round Liverpool no more. When I steered into her, no, I hadn't got a care. I was cruising up and down on Cannon Place. She was dressed in a gown so fine, like a frigate on the line, and I did just to see their manly chase. Well, next morning when I awoke and I found that I was broke, I hadn't got a penny I could find. So I had to pawn me suit, me Johns and me boats, down in the park like pawn shop number 9. Oh, Maggie, Maggie May, they've taken you away to slave upon Van Diemen's cruel shore. Oh, you rock so many whalers and many drunken sailors, but you'll never cruise round Liverpool no more. Oh, you thieving Maggie May, you robbed me of me pay when I slept with you last night ashore. Oh, it's guilty the jury found her, a robbing a homeward bounder, and she'll never roll down Paradise Street no more. She was trained and sent away from Liverpool one day. The lads all cheered as she sailed down the bay. And every sailing lad, he only was too glad that they sent the old whore out to Botany Bay. Oh, Maggie, Maggie May, they've taken you away to slave upon Van Diemen's cruel shore. Oh, you rob so many whalers and many drunken sailors, but you'll never cruise round Liverpool no more. Roll, boys! Call all hands to man the capstan. See the cable run down clear. Heave away and with the will, boys. For Tortuga we will steer, and we'll sing in joyful chorus in out.
What is this? Increases critical damage by 10%. Yeah, I'm not even using pierce damage.
Ships under your hand, Captain.
It's like around here somewhere. It's not exactly on that shield. This is kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know, man. This guy's like this is a little broken, man. Yeah, I don't know where the hell this is at. So let me get my stamina back. Get out to the beach, call my ship.
Captain at the helm!
Holy crap.
Observation proceeds.
Oh my god, I hate you so much.
This doesn't belong in a museum. It didn't sail in here on sea turtles. troubling symptoms.
Because I didn't fucking grab them. Alright. Now we're going to start my precision guy. Character. I don't know. Should I male or female? Alright. Good and ready. Oh, come on. Might as well listen to some video while
Well, boys, today is tomorrow, and Mizkif is in the bowl. All right, this man is in the bowl because Emeru absolutely humiliated him. All right, and he even had to admit it. He had to admit it. All right, he had to admit it. This man got absolutely humiliated by Emeru whenever she revealed that she has done some things to Mizkif. There might be a reason why Mizkif does not like her, all right? There might be a couple reasons. Because, chat, we have bizarre rumor about Emeru Mizkif during confirmed after Senna vaguely referenced it on stream. Brother, chat. He literally just admits to it, by the way. He literally just admits to it, by the way. It's not like this whole entire thing where he's just like, no, it could never be me. I'm so mad. He's just like, fuck. And if I did get stuffed like a turkey. Now, this happened like last year, by the way, because this was the RV trip that they were taking to TwitchCon. Basically, on this RV trip where they were going to TwitchCon, this was before Mizkif got exposed by Emeru and everything, right? So this clip really didn't go anywhere, but oh my god, this clip is blowing up now, chat. This clip is blowing up now. But yes, this was before Emeru got assaulted at TwitchCon and then made her statements about
a little
Mizkif.
common sense in the world around me.
No, I know. And one of them was really funny. You know, I think we have to get targeted on 1v1, right? Okay, sure. Never have I ever. Actually, never have I ever. Somebody was. What is wrong with you?
I'm like, come on, boys, come on.
Guess what?
I'm like, come on, boys, come on. Come on. What's wrong with this? I mean, like, come on, what's wrong with this? Who would have wanted to get by this woman? I mean, like, you know, getting a, you know, bungee cord strapped on before you go, you know, a fun bungee activity. You know, doing bungee jumping with, you know, the whole entire harness on. Brother, what? I don't even honestly.
I can see why Mizkif doesn't like Senna that much either.
I can see why this man Mizkif would say the things he was saying about Senna, you know, saying that, oh, she was on me and Bonnie Rabbit didn't like her because she was all up on my pee thing whenever she was coming up. I can see why this man Mizkif said the shit that he was saying. Because I was like, why is he just bringing up this random shit about Senna that only needed to know? But I can see why. Fuck no fast things. Plus one clip edited. So then we have our boy Mizzy Wizzy. Alright, we have our boy Mizzy Wizzy. He has to admit that, okay, it happened. Alright, and if it did, I'm just curious. I was being empathetic. Alright, empathetic. I gotta know how it is before I serve it out. You don't just get a taser as a cop and pepper spray as a cop before getting it used on you. You gotta see how it is, all right? You gotta see if the dish is nice enough to serve. You gotta taste your own soup. All right, you gotta taste your own soup because we have Mizkif, for no reason at all, randomly admitted to getting by Imru for some reason. It's definitely not the clip right here that we're looking at here.
The crazy part is every.
Wait, what?
That's bonkers.
All right, listen. I'll tell the story one time, okay?
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Emmy used to on me.
Oh,
This was in
last year? Yes.
the end. I'm done.
Wait, the end? Wait. Chat, you're saying their relationship, from what he's saying, ended around the summer-ish of 2025, like between spring and summer of 2025. So, Mizkif, let's sit back down. Mizkif, what really happened? No. Why are you squirming so much? Why are you squirming so much, Mizkif? This wasn't like an old thing. This recently happened. From what Mizkif is saying, the end of their relationship was around the beginning of 2025, around like the summerish, like mid-range. My boy, Mizkif. There's nothing wrong with, wanting to take on a little adventure, all right? I just wish I could throw the Mizkif right now. I'd be up in there cracking them little jokes. Oh my God, just like, bro, well, was she home? What was it big enough? Did you really? Exit only. It was an entrance for him, all right? An entrance exam. All right, I wonder if he passed the exam, though. He did not need to tell that at all. He did not need to tell that. He snitched on himself. He could have easily been like, no, it wasn't me at all. This man is too forthcoming. Because all Sinners said was, did you say on something? Now, Emiru has had at least 2 public boyfriends and also a girlfriend, by the way. You guys know, Emiru had a girlfriend. So she could have used the device on her girlfriend. But for some reason, this man Mizkif had to tell us it was specifically him and specifically their relationship. I feel like he's proud of himself. All right, hey man, he said there is no shame in my game. We as a collective society really need to bring back shame, secret privacies. Again, by the way, through the clip that Sinner said, have you ever used a, device on someone? Imru said yes. Imru has had a girlfriend and another boyfriend. I mean, like, people could have just guessed, oh, well, obviously on her girlfriend she did. My God. I feel like he's just like, okay, I gotta take credit for this. All right, y'all are just jealous. All right, I don't want to hear it. Y'all are jealous of the boy Mizkif. All right, I don't want to hear it. I heard it feels good though. You like men more? Now he needs to find a hot Asian man. You know what? That's why. You want to know what happened to Pokemon's neighbor? Mizkif stole him. Yep, Mizkif stole her neighbor. He's now his roommate. No longer neighbor, roommate. They're roommates now. He just wanted that male exam. True. He was preparing for his exam. All right, we all have to. All right. Everyone knows it's not always an exit. Sometimes it's an entrance. You have to. You got to get your exams done, chat.
I'm not talking about it.
No, talk about it.
I told the story already. I've said this before for years. I thought that I would like it in the app.
Okay.
And I tried it.
All right.
And I didn't like it. But I
Oh.
like a finger knife.
Oh.
But I don't like the back and forth movement. You know what I mean? I thought that was going to be good.
This man. We are getting too much
Oh my God, that was way too much fucking information.
But I don't like the back and forth movement. You know what I mean? I thought that was going to be good. But I tried it and I was like,
Dude, stop talking.
I hated it.
Dude, stop talking.
I just didn't like it.
You should
You're
just
like,
stop
no,
talking.
I like a finger knife, which is literally normal because you're is there. It's totally normal.
Oh
for you
my
like
God.
I see.
But I didn't like the whole thing going back and forth in my. Was not a fan.
The stimulation was too much. The stimulation, I see. He's not used to the
Did
stimulation.
Chompy get to watch? No, bro. Chompy didn't watch.
Dang. Poor Chompy.
I hope not, actually. I really hope not. I hope no one saw that.
No, Chompy's selling. Chompy got the whole thing recorded.
Tried it in for. You've never had a girl, and then she stuck a finger in your. Never had that happen.
Oh my god.
I'm like,
Dude, stop talking.
You ask. I'm like, you gotta ask for that specifically.
You are too seriously.
Really?
Specifically ask.
Not even close to the same? Yeah, I'm really trying to pretend that I. Yeah.
He's lying.
Yeah, you never made out with a girl before?
She just stuck her fist up your.
Somebody that... Yes, I've been penetrated, bro. I made out with a. You gotta try things in life, Chad. What do you want? I try things.
Oh, I see. Hey! At least he admits it. You know what? Instead of us having to do the whole thing of piecing together the puzzle, he admits it. He comes out. All right, he comes out. You gotta try things, Chad. You gotta try things in life. All right, there's some things that you gotta try in life that you never thought you liked. Who knows? Maybe you might like shrimp. They may look weird, but hey, they can be the most delicious little morsels out there. Hey, I'm just saying. Hey, this is crazy. We didn't say this. Mizkif did YT. Exactly. Mizkif, I am watching a Mizkif clip. Alright. Chicken gizzards for the win. See, yeah, who knows? You might like chicken gizzards, chat. You might like chicken gizzards. Rekka's driving with her is more understandable. This may say more understandable now. Clip should have ended. Oh no, it keeps going. Don't worry, guys. I got you. You guys wanted to hear it.
Unfollowed. Go ahead, leave me. See what I care. Wait.
See what I mean?
I'll just get another bot. I'll replace you.
See, he always admits to botting, by the way. Like, why does he just admit to it so easily? He's just so forthcoming.
Shut up, Chad.
The chat is judging.
It's not real. Yes, it is. It's totally real.
Yeah, hey! I believe the experienced person here, chat. I believe the experienced person here. I don't want to hear anyone with no life experience telling me how to do shit. It's like trying to tell me how to drive. Your ass don't even know how to turn on the car. Come on. You gotta at least know how to turn on the car. These don't even know how to turn on the car until this boy had to drive. Come on. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm probably gonna have to cut this part out of the Iglees YouTube VOD. And then, alright, whenever I upload it, obviously it's gonna be censored. Alright, boys. Just saying, whenever you come into the streams, just letting you guys know, when you come to the streams, you guys can hear things. Alright, you guys get to hear more. Big W stream. See, that's why you gotta come in, chat. That's why you gotta come into the streams. YouTube audience, you gotta come in.
Shit.
Be a part of the chat, a part of the cool kids. Look, y'all can be right there. This could be you. And also you can go. Or you can be part of the Twitch chat, by the way. Hey, just saying, Twitch bots are never censored. I never censored a Twitch bot. I mean, if I was dating Emeru, I would have taken this way. You know what? Chat. You guys have to think about this. Yeah. Emeru is rich. She's successful. Just saying, chat. One night she brings in the old system, or the device. She says for $1 million. She can just pull it out the bank account right now for $1 million. And me to be your love of your life for the rest of your life. I love you. You taking the device? All right, you taking the device? Tell me in the comments down below. You taking the device? $1 million and you get Emeru. All right. It's a one-time deal. One time. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it ever again. All right. You gotta try it. You gotta try her cookie. Whatever she wants to be for real. This man X10 is ready. All right. This man X10 is prepared.
100%, dude. I feel like it is real. It is. Don't ruin my Disney World. It's real.
Yeah, it's real.
Has the milk? No. But the milk just stuck her finger. That's a fact. Yes.
Oh my God. This man's keep going. When do we change topics here?
What? She's a mom, Chad.
What does that have to do with anything about this conversation?
Is that? It's not at all. How's that? It's so normal.
Missy was fighting for his life.
Is it normal as a man to?
Yeah.
Reddit. We'll go to the place that's normal.
Yeah, the place that's normal.
Wait, no, dear God, no, please never do this unless explicitly asked to. No, some chick randomly did this to me and I almost knocked her in the face. Almost every chick I've been with has tried this, almost all seemed relieved when I pushed them away and more back. Wait, you're jumping up like a cat from this? I love this shit. Wait a minute, does that make me...
No, I think it would make those women, I think that
Might be a little great.
from those women, just saying. They didn't ask, and they were, well, I guess I'm already here. Time to start fumbling with it. I feel like you should specifically ask for things, all right? Just because someone asks for a head doesn't mean they...
Art Loco time check mark button before GTA 6.
Bro, true. We are getting that Miss Queef demon time. Many time before GTA 6. Yeah, you should probably ask for consent. It seems like these women, at least in Reddit. I mean, you also have to remember, this is Reddit. How many of y'all believe a Reddit, a person that constantly posts to Reddit, especially a Redditor from 10 years ago, was getting any amount of action? No, we actually have to think about this. A Redditor from 10 years ago, do you guys actually believe that they were getting any amount of action? Come on, Chad. Come on.
What size was the...
I returned it, so I don't remember.
You returned it. It was used, and he returned it. I don't know if they have a return policy. You don't have nothing to defend.
Bed?
The size of the monster under the bed.
Well, I wasn't a freaking cat, okay? I just like a little bit, like in general, okay? It's not like I don't like sticking my... I just do. Like, I don't want my to come out. What I like, in my opinion, is a finger in my... I also like...
I can't even listen to this anymore.
Like, I really, in the bed, I like eye contact. And like,
Eye contact with a finger in my ass. Okay.
Today we're revisiting the HMNZ Manawi Wowie. So the last update, and we actually talked about this, was on the 3rd of March, right?
Ah, she was getting charged, wasn't she?
She was getting charged. She is getting charged. She's facing court-martial. So let's rewind a bit. Lesbian Navy Captain Yvonne Gray was in charge of this ship called the Manawi Wowie or something like that. She left it on cruise control. They struck a reef off Samoa and their ship sunk.
And quite frankly, I think it was a triumph.
That is actually something of a triumph, frankly.
So yeah, all the brass in the Navy, like the minister, the defence minister and stuff, were saying, this is an absolute triumph. At least no one died. The famous words!
At least nobody died.
So the purpose of this video is we actually missed some stuff, right? When this news came out that she was getting charged, so did the findings of the inquiry into the crash. And we're going to explore some parts of that today because they're funny. Now this is a part of a trend going on in New Zealand. They had a push to like employ lots more women in the Navy.
We need more inclusion.
Yeah, that's right. So they got a bunch of chicks to drive these boats and they can't stop crashing them. So here's the Manawi Wowie sinking.
Oh, there's actual footage of it.
Yeah, there's footage of it. There was always footage of it. And here's the Manawi Wowie underwater. So this is in the reef off Samoa. It's apparently leaking oil into the reef.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I think that's a triumph.
That is actually something of a triumph, frankly.
Yeah, so I don't know why I'm so interested in this story. I just am. You could probably pin it down to my old hobby, misogyny. But I think it's just the way that she was like insulated and protected, and it was a triumph, and at least nobody died, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, for the sole reason she was a chick, you could tell.
So let's have a look. Let's go!
New Zealand's Navy is so lame, so spastic, lame and gay, man, what a crashed into a reef.
So we were talking about how this Yvonne Gray, Yvonne, Yarvin, whatever the fuck, was being insulated by the brass, including our favourite chick ever, Judith Collins, Judith, Jan, we could never remember her name. Janice, I don't know.
Is that the Triumph bitch?
It's the Triumph bitch, yeah.
I'm appalled to see the comments online because, you know, New Zealanders are better than this. The deeply concerning, misogynistic narrative, the one thing that we already know did not cause it is the gender of the ship's captain.
So the gender of the ship's captain did not cause this. She wanted to hammer that home.
Yeah.
I saw this interview. This was around the same time. She had this like campaign to just drive home the point that it wasn't the gender of the captain.
The captain is ultimately responsible for the fate of the ship, right?
Well, I understand so, but again, that will be what the inquiry looks at. I mean, I think we cannot rush to judgment, but what I've said this week pretty clearly, it's not the gender of the captain that's the issue here.
Oh, that's not the issue here. It's not the gender. So now, let's get into the fucking meat and potatoes of this video.
It's like, why do you keep bringing it up? Why are you constantly bringing this up? I'm starting to think it's the fucking gender.
Yeah, so I had a look into the official report. This was at the encouragement of iMalcontent. He's been covering this too, and he does really good work. You should go watch iMalcontent. But some of the things I found interesting, see, there's like a timeline of events of all the stuff that happened, right? And I just want to go through some of the juicy ones with you. So on the day at 18, 15 and 20 seconds, an alarm starts sounding. No comment on the alarm is noted in the audio recording. No further instances of the alarm sounding on the VDR will be noted in this narrative.
So no one was like, what the fuck is that alarm? Why is an alarm going?
Well, I think they already knew they were fucked, kind of thing. Yeah. So it's like your house is on fire and then the smoke alarm starts going off. It's like, yeah, okay. You know, 1816, witness 2 advises witness 4, it's not really doing what I want it to do. 1816, witness 2 again states, it's not really doing what I want it to do. 1817, witness 4 pipes, nautical emergency, nautical emergency, nautical emergency.
3 times.
Yeah.
That is seriously a nautical emergency.
Yeah, so I think pipes means like the intercom or something like that. 1817, witness 1, who is the commanding officer, arrives on the bridge, and witness 2 reports that he has full astern and the ship is not stopping. So as I said, witness 1 is Yvonne Gray.
We are not stopping this boat.
Yeah, she's the captain. So she wasn't on the bridge in the lead up to this whole fiasco. She was like asleep or something. Who knows? She was like scissoring someone downstairs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, scissor me timbers.
Yeah. 1817, witness 1, Yvonne Gray, asks, what speed have we got? Witness 2 replies, 10 knots, increasing. And I've got fucking full astern here and nothing is happening.
He's swearing now. He can't get through to the captain.
So just keep in mind, right, as we've like discussed in our previous videos on this whole fucking thing, right, the whole reason they couldn't control the boat is because it was on cruise control. So they're going, oh my god, I can't do it. It's not doing what I want it to do. Why can't I stop it? It's on cruise control.
Yeah, Yvonne, we should probably take this off cruise control.
Yeah, 1817, witness 1, Yvonne, states turn instead of going astern. Grinding and shaking noises heard on VDR.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, so she's going, well, we can't stop, so maybe just turn.
She likes grinding noises.
Yeah. 1818, witness 1 calls for calm. So let's just go back a sec, right? At 1817 and 59 seconds, grinding and shaking noises are heard on the recording. And then at 1818 and 17 seconds, witness 1 calls for calm. So it took her 20 seconds, 25 seconds after the grinding and the hitting of the reef to go, all right, everyone calm down. You know what I mean?
I think if there's any time to not be calm, it's after the fucking grinding noises of hitting a reef.
Yeah. 1819, witness 1 says, I want you to look at the system because you understand the system. See if we can get propulsion back. So the captain didn't understand the propulsion system. She's saying to someone else, it doesn't say who she's saying it to, but she's saying to someone else, hey, can you reverse out of this driveway for me, baby? Because I can't maneuver this fucking thing, right? The typical chick thing. 1822, and I've put these together for a reason. Witness 1, the commanding officer states, I can see the stern swinging back round to port. And then at 1822 and 6 seconds, voice heard saying, Captain, ma'am, intention is to drop both anchors. So the captain is standing there going, everyone you won't fucking calm down. Can you look at the system for me? Because I wouldn't have a fucking clue what's going on. And then she goes, oh my God, the Stanley's swinging back around to port. And someone comes into the fucking bridge and goes, listen, we're dropping the anchors.
Yeah.
No, what should we do, man?
Yeah.
What should we do, Captain? Listen, bitch, we're dropping the fucking anchors. Isn't that insane?
This is a mutiny. We're
Yeah.
overthrowing you, Captain.
Yeah.
You clearly don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, so at 1827, discussion about, do you want to take it out of auto now? So cruise control, right?
Oh my God, it's still on cruise control.
It's still on fucking cruise control. So let's just go back for a sec. It was at 1817 that the grinding and shaking noises could be heard on the recording, right? And then at 1827, 10 minutes later, they're going, should we take it out of cruise control now? Like, imagine getting in a crash on the freeway, right? And you just sit there for 10 minutes. Your husband rings and goes, hey babe, what happened? You okay? You want me to call the tow truck?
Yeah.
And you go, oh, I don't know, babe. Should I take my foot off the accelerator?
You got some random guy coming in saying, bitch, we're dropping the anchors,
Yeah.
okay? We're fucked here.
Yeah.
Yet it's still on the cruise control.
Yeah, now it doesn't say that this was the captain that said this, so it's probably some other guy has said, listen, should we take it off fucking cruise control?
Yeah, they're very quickly coming to the realization that they're captained by a dickhead.
Yeah, more on that later.
More on.
1827, conversation heard regarding propulsion control re-established. And it was in auto. I didn't realise, man. Cross off now. So whatever motherfucker's got his, like, finger on the fucking auto thing, he's gone, oh my God, I didn't even realise. That's probably a chick, let's face it. So then 1830, witness one, the commanding officer states, we have managed to get the steering back. What I'm trying to do is get off this reef. Okay, alright, cool.
The anchor dude's like,
Yeah, that's right. They've dropped the fucking anchors, presumably. That's what they said they wanted to do.
look, it's on cruise control, alright? We're gonna get off this reef one way or another.
Yeah. So keep in mind, that was at 1830. The captain's saying, I'm trying to get it off the fucking reef. And then at 1833, 3 minutes later, witness 3 is heard stating, confirmed state of anchors. So she's trying to maneuver the boat off the reef, and the anchors are... So it's like your wife's in the fucking... in the
The
driveway.
handbrake's on.
Trying to reverse out, and you go, babe, can you just check is the handbrake on? You know what I mean?
I don't know why you keep looking at me. I'd never fucking do this shit.
Yeah, well, look.
I've never tried to reverse with a handbrake on.
So, what do we got next? 1835, witness one heard stating, I've made a decision. I'm not going to call command yet. I'm going to wait 10 minutes until we have stabilised. So this is, hey, I've crashed on the freeway. I'm really scared to tell my husband because he'll go mad. Listen, I'll get to it. I'll do it. Just give me 10 minutes to calm down.
It's the 10-minute gap again.
Yeah, so don't forget, what was it? It was like 1817, I think, that they crashed the ship.
Yeah, and 10 minutes later.
Well, this is now 1835. So this is like 18 minutes later. She's saying, okay, we've crashed. I just need to chill for a bit more and see if I can get this boat off this motherfucker. Right? 1836, witness one heard asking, so now are we going to bring our stern back round to starboard? Are we? Response heard saying, yeah. So she's going, oh my God, how do I handle this? Which way should I turn the steering wheel? She doesn't have a clue what she's asking her staff what she should do.
I love the passive-aggressive, are we?
Yeah.
Are we finally going to do that, man?
No, this is witness one asking. This is the captain asking the staff what we're going to do now.
Which way to steer?
Yeah, so should we do this now? What are we going to do? Can you look at the system for me? I don't want to call HQ yet. Oh, what should we do now? This is all a fucking
Severe lack of
disaster.
balls.
It's just a disaster. 1845, communications between Section Base and HQ1, seeking priority for blanket searches. Background noise of grinding and ship lurching.
Yeah, the ship's fucked.
The ship's fucked. 1846. So what's that? 29 minutes after the crash, a mayday call is heard being made. Isn't this insane?
She's had time to register. She's calmed down. She's had her chai latte.
Yeah, 1847. Now this is where it just gets comical.
This?
Yeah, it starts to get really funny now. 1847, witness one, the captain, is heard making amplifying pipe advising personnel to get bottles of water, go to the toilet if they can, and get layers of clothing if able.
She's literally mum saying go to the toilet before we go on
That's
the road.
right. Yeah. Long time to before the next toilet. You better go do wee-wees.
You're about to be in the fucking ocean.
Yeah.
Piss in there.
1848, so about a minute later, she pops again. This is the captain. This isn't a great situation. However, I have faith that you all know what we need to do. We'll get in our life rafts, and we'll survive this, and then we'll wait for help to arrive. Make sure that you can do what you can do to prepare yourself for getting in that life raft. If that means getting extra clothes, then you do that. All personnel are to try to get to the loo before we get in the life raft.
Fucking Lou again.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I love the bit that says, I have faith that you all know what you need to do.
Yeah, because you fucking don't.
Yeah, they have faith in you.
So just remember, this is on the background. This is on the backdrop of this Gillian Judith Collins saying, "Oh my God, the timing was everything. If she hadn't have acted as quickly as she did and gotten everyone off the boat, there could have been dead bodies. At least nobody died."
At least nobody died.
Quite frankly, I think it's a triumph that nobody had to shit in the life rafts. They all went to the loo.
Yeah, but my point is the timing was fucked. She hit a reef, and then like half an hour later, she said, "All right, we better have our piss," and then get off the sinking boat. Right, so that's the end of the timeline, the parts I've got. There was a couple of more interesting tidbits here.
This chick is fucking crazy.
So the report goes on to say most of the life-saving equipment operated and performed as it was designed to do. However, some of the equipment was found to be one size, which restricted movement and dexterity for those smaller in size and was found to be a hindrance.
What does that mean?
So they've obviously got like survival suits or something like that, right?
Okay.
And so, but it's all one size. So all these small motherfuckers are like drowning in these huge suits, and all these big motherfuckers are like, "Oh, this is too tight."
What are they, fucking midgets? Is the Navy that inclusive?
Well, there's always going to be bigger people and smaller people. It's like having on the boat all your size clothes and then giving it to me, going, "Here, getting your survival suit."
Now I'm thinking of a boat full of midgets, fat fucks, and lesbians.
Okay. It goes on to say bringing together and towing the life rafts was made more difficult due to the lack of obvious towing points on the life rafts. There had been no training undertaken by ship's crew to tow life rafts, which added to the overall frustration and stress of the situation. Right, now we touch on the qualifications of the people driving the boat. Okay, so supervision, the role of supervisor, the person who was in charge of that bridge, because remember, the captain was off scissoring or asleep or something like that. She was flipping through the Subaru catalogue, who knows?
Yes.
It says the role of supervisor was not clearly defined. However, it was commonly known to involve safety oversight of the survey task. While the supervisor had inadequate situational awareness and understanding of how the ship operated to effectively supervise the OOW, whatever that is, the supervisor had not completed all the azimuth thruster training courses and had not been platform endorsed for the ship.
Right, so she was a shit thruster.
Yeah, she was a shit thruster. But that means she, or he, it could have been a he, was not licensed to run the ship. But it gets worse. Witness 1 was not platform endorsed for the ship. So the captain wasn't the equivalent of being licensed in the Navy to run the ship. Yeah, the court notes she should have held a command platform endorsement, the requirements for which are set out in paragraph blah 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 of the New Zealand blah 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 blah. Right? So she just wasn't qualified. Yvonne was specifically given this fucking captain role because she was a chick. So that means that all this shit that Judith Collins is spouting, it wasn't because of the gender of the ship's captain. It absolutely was because of the gender of the ship's captain. See, the New Zealand Defence Force has been pushing for chicks. Just get more chicks. We need equality. We need more chicks.
Why are they all making X hands?
I don't know. It just seems hard or something.
They look like their hands are scissoring.
So yeah, that's my point. That's the point of the video. It absolutely was because of her gender. If they hadn't been making this push for chicks, then she wouldn't have got the job unlicensed and she wouldn't have crashed the fucking ship. Game, set, match. We're done. Lesbians should not be sea captain. Visit Sugar Teeth. She has a channel.
Yes, I do.
We'll catch you later. Thanks for watching. Ta-ta. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Like, why do you care about having children or like riding for having children? Like, it's just not something that you're gonna experience ever for your life, for the rest of your life, right? This is something that I never understand.
Wow, maybe there's a reason people are yearning to start a family and can't afford to have one and can't seem to find a partner. They feel alienated from their work and atomized from their community. If only there was a political commentator around to speak about all this. Oh well, I don't understand how someone could be so mentally mind-raped that this is their reaction to such like a simple, wholesome concept. Like literally, no joke, the entire meaning of life is somehow confusing to Hassan Piker.
So that's a clip that is going viral all over social media that comes from a recent Shoe on Head video where she discusses the backlash against people enjoying a Capcom game because that Capcom game has a male protector in a fatherly role over a female android or something of the sort. Guys, I am not an expert on gaming. I don't know GameStation very well, and Shoe on Head was remarking on the fact that all these different people on social media are trying to make it weird that people feel inspired to be parents, and included among those people are scumbags like Jank's nephew. But one of the things that makes that clip so good and so compelling, which by the way, the full video will be linked in the description of this video, is that Shoe on Head manages to take down Jank's nephew without calling him any names in a concise way. And by the way, the criticism is actually coming from the left. She's actually reflecting the principles that allegedly Jank's nephew should be holding to against him in her takedown, which is one of the reasons why this is so enjoyable to so many people. Now, of course, full disclosure, everybody knows I can't stand Jank's nephew. I am definitely partial to Shoe on Head. First and foremost, the lady makes entertaining content, but she is on the left wing. She is somebody who's like a Bernie Sanders type supporter, although she has some sensible positions on criminal justice. But overall, it's one of those people that were like mislabeled during the anti-SJW era because she made like anti-feminist, again, comedic content, and people try to make her into some kind of right-winger, and again, pushed it so far to the point where she was labeled a Nazi a bunch of times. But she's somebody who's always consistently been on the left and considered herself more far left than the Democratic Party and has like those anti-establishment views, but she's actually entertaining and actually thoughtful on a lot of issues. And personally, I did really appreciate when I did my video where I got my car stolen, where she left me this nice comment where she said I should start a GoFundMe so that people could raise money for me when I was in that scenario, because I got my car stolen shortly before the final payments on my wedding. And to me, for somebody I don't know, never met, never spoke to do something nice like that, or at least suggest something nice like that, it was really appreciated. And of course, I ended up responding with something like this: I don't need anybody's help. And that's because while I did appreciate the sentiment, one of the unofficial rules of this channel is that I don't crowdfund for myself. What I do is I provide a service to you guys in these videos. If you enjoy them, then you support me by watching them, hitting like and all that. But if I have problems in my life, sudden tragedies or something of the sort, it's not on you to bail me out. So yeah, that's why there was no GoFundMe. You didn't miss the GoFundMe. Everybody chill out. I've said this multiple times before, but yeah, sentiment still appreciated. But yeah, now that I got my disclosures out of the way, we're gonna break this whole thing down. But before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Oh, give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
I feel like I am going to say, where does the incel part come from? If they want men to be open about things, and men are open about their emotions, and then they're just called Nazis or incels or both. Usually both. It's usually a package deal. And this tweet came from a man, to make things worse. A grown-ass man saw another grown-ass man speaking about the normal human desire to want a family and want children one day, and called him an incel. Cockroach behavior.
So the setup or the premise for this, and again, the full video from Shoe on Head will be linked in the description, is that Capcom ended up releasing a game that is becoming very popular on the internet.com. In said game, you play a male protagonist that has to protect like a female child android, and during the course of the game, that female child android apparently bonds with you as a father figure, ends up doing nice things like drawing you pictures and whatnot. And obviously this is like a sweet sentiment, and like a lot of times, art ends up having an impact on those who engage with it. So a lot of people had a takeaway from this that, hey, maybe they actually wanted to be parents, and this was expressed on the internet.com. And of course, because we have like an anti-family, anti-Western kind of sentiment in the broader media, people began responding by labeling these people perverts and saying all sorts of ridiculous things. And again, it was all based on the idea that a man would actually aspire to be a father, want to settle down with the person, start a family, because they like the idea of raising a child, which of course is a complete non-starter among the left wing. And this is where we get the clip from Cenk's nephew, where he's absolutely livid with the idea that somebody would want this for themselves.
In any case, what is this? Capcom's Pragmata. Wait, did it come out already? Pragmata, it's making thousands of people suddenly want to start a family. You play as Hugh, a soldier, stranded on a ruined lunar research station, and his job is protecting the childlike android Diana while fighting rogue AI. In one emotional moment, she gives him a crayon drawing of the two of them together as a little family. Even streamers who say at the start they didn't want kids end up breaking down happy in tears.
So right off the top, and I know this is not a substantive issue with Cenk's nephew's commentary, which is definitely coming in just a little bit, but I hate the way that this man reads. He manages to make reading look like a painful exercise, look like something that you would never want to do in your life at any point in time, and that's because of that like dry monotone voice that he reads with. And yeah, it's embarrassing and he needs to cut it out. Get an AI reader. I'm sure they will have more personality than you do when you're reading. But again, that's a non-substantive criticism. That's just me being a bit of a jerk. Let's hear Cenk's nephew's criticism of people who want to be parents because they felt emotionally moved by a piece of art.
So, what's really interesting about this is all of these unfuckable losers in the gaming sphere always talk about like starting families and stuff. And I don't understand like why this has become a thing that they care about. Like, if you're a gamer, you should care about things that you actually experience. You should care about things that you actually enjoy, right? If you're a lonely gamer who has never been around a woman and will never have sex with a woman, why do you care? Like, why do you care about having children or like riding for having children? Like, it's just not something that you're gonna experience ever for your life, for the rest of your life, right?
So yeah, obviously that is a reaction that's completely out of proportion with the post that he was reading, but remember, Cenk's nephew is a third worldist communist. He's anti-American first and foremost, so the idea of people wanting to extend their line and thus extend their civilization, which is a Western civilization, which is where this game is marketed to, obviously bothers Cenk's nephew to no end, so he ends up going on this whole rant that is very reflective of what he actually believes. Again, this is a guy who promotes himself as a male feminist, who immediately is judging other men by their ability to conquer women, and this should not be surprising to anybody who knows Cenk's nephew's history. I mean, the guy operates as a pickup artist. It very famously, by the way, Cenk Uygur said that he gave his nephews, including Cenk's nephew, a book, I believe it was called The Game, in order to get them right with the women. And of course, there are many, many clips of him expressing the views of pickup artists, and this is before they became more right-wing coded. And obviously, Cenk's nephew not happy with the idea that some people would aspire to something, so he's asserting that they should absolutely just forget about it, don't start a family, embrace a nihilist worldview, and essentially destroy yourself, and by extension, destroy your civilization.
This is something that I never understand.
Wow, maybe there's a reason people are yearning to start a family and can't afford to have one and can't seem to find a partner. They feel alienated from their work and atomized from their community. If only there was a political commentator around to speak about all this. Oh well, guess not. First of all, the only care about something if it affects you is extremely libertarian coded and also very weird coming from a guy who understandably wants everybody to care about a genocide that is happening across the ocean.
So while overall I do like this rant and I completely understand what Shoonhead is trying to say when she labels not caring about anything unless it affects you personally libertarian coded, in reality she's completely wrong about how libertarians actually engage with the world. Again, I'm somebody who used to be much more libertarian than I am right now, but always it was among my beliefs that it's on me to do something about problems that I see in the world. Meanwhile, these communist types very often say that, oh, I can't be held responsible for my own actions and how I engage with the world until society needs to change. So it's actually quite communist coded for Cenk's nephew to say, oh, don't care about that, it doesn't impact you. And there are many, many other other examples of communists throwing out this exact same ideology. Like, remember when we were covering squatting in New York City, and there were people that were losing their homes that they might have inherited from a dead relative, or investment homes, like, you know, they bought like a triplex, and that's how this elderly person was making their money. And Matt Binder and the folks over at the Majority Report started flipping out because they were like, listen, this squatting issue is never going to impact you at all whatsoever, so why do you care about it? Why are you talking about it?
What's really amazing about this whole discourse about the squatters and everything is that, like, I've seen, like, if you're a tenant, which a large portion of this country is, if you're a tenant, why the f do you care about this? Like, why do I see people who are renters or tenants out there, or even someone who owns a single f***ing home and that's their residence where they live? Why do you care about this? It does not affect you. It will never affect you.
Binder, it's a four-letter word, C-U-C-K.
You are literally hurting laws that are established to actually protect you, the renter or tenant. Like, it is absolutely ridiculous. Like, I saw someone in the chat say, like, yeah, you won't, the live chat on YouTube. Yeah, like, but if you owned a property and this happened to you, you'd think differently. Well, guess what? I will never own a second property, and this will never happen. I'll never, first of all, I don't even know if I ever own a single property.
Again, as if I have to own a rental property or own a home or have a family member that owns a home in the city of New York to believe that it's morally wrong and depraved for people who are extortion schemers to break into said home, tear it up, and again, try to get as much money as possible out of the owner of said property in these repeated ongoing schemes. So the idea that it's libertarian coded, even though this sentiment is almost exclusively expressed in such a brutal, cold way by the left wing, is wrong.
Also, very weird coming from a guy who understandably wants everybody to care about a genocide that is happening across the ocean.
And secondly, Shu does miss the point on why people like Jank's nephew push this genocide narrative, the pretendicide, if you will, and that's because it's an anti-Western position, it's an anti-American position, it's anti-Israel, which a lot of these people see as an extension of the United States of America, so that's why they're constantly pushing the pretendicide and deflecting to that. So these two positions are actually not in conflict with one another because it wasn't about the civilians and how you should care about what's going on overseas. It's about being anti-Western, being anti-American. So that takes the form of the pretendicide narrative when it comes to Israel and Gaza, but within the context of the United States of America, that takes the form of an anti-natalist position. So there's just a little bit of like misunderstanding of where Jank's nephew is coming from right here, and it's understandable because superficially she is correct, but in reality, it's just 100% consistent once you understand that they adopt the belief that America bad, West bad, and that is always their position on each and every single issue.
Second of all, what is this nihilistic horseshit? You never aspire for anything, never aim for greatness and meeting. This is the dude the media wants us to believe is going to save young men from the alt-right pipeline. Yeah, okay. And I love how he's like, unfuckable losers. Like, okay, congrats on the sex, bro. Check out this sex haver over here. I'm sure all those unfuckable losers could easily go to foreign brothels and pay for sex like you, Hassan. Something weird about a man who could easily, consensually get sex from a woman but chooses to go to a brothel. I don't know. Just saying. Also, 35? No kids?
The lady just makes entertaining content, and she's absolutely 100% accurate about this. And again, it is very important to point out, because we see this so often, that all these different various people that want to fight against like misogyny and a male-dominated society, they call themselves male feminists or feminists, often very much judge you as a man by the number of women that you can sleep with. By the way, also a very good point about him going to a brothel that reportedly, I don't know if you guys have heard about this, was rated for human trafficking to pay for sex, while this guy should be perfectly capable of finding it on his own in a consensual manner. But that's the thing, Jank's nephew believes almost everything is transactional. Ironically, this guy is the most obsessed with material things, and this is what Shoe-on-Head is hitting on right here, and I give her credit where credit is due for doing so in such a funny way.
Second of all, what is this nihilistic horseshit? You never aspire for anything, never aim for greatness and meaning.
And she hits the nail on the head about the lack of aspirational goals, and in fact, looking down on people with aspirational goals. And a perfect example of the difference in mindset that I really want to highlight is that if you guys are unaware, behind the scenes, I tend to harass people in the creator space that I know personally into making sure that they set up their financial planning appropriately. And I was having a conversation with somebody who recently had a kid, making sure they sign up for that 530A account, which, by the way, I made an entire video on how you could set up your kid for retirement by getting one of those. One of the most important videos that I've ever made. So, of course, way too few of you guys out there in the audience ended up clicking on this. But during the course of the conversation, I told this person that I actually have a 529 account, which is an education savings account that you would set up for your child so that when they go to university, they have the money to actually pay for university without student loan debt. And this was shocking to the friend that I was talking to, and the reason why is because I don't have any children right now at this moment. But the thing is, I want to have a family. I aspire to that in the future. So I'm already making moves. And by the way, I recommend that you guys out there in the audience that aspire to have children start making these moves to set my future child up for success, again, before they're ever conceived or before they're ever born. This is something that I've been doing for a very long time because this is a goal that I aspire to. But in Jank's nephew's worldview, if you're an ineffable gamer or something of the sort, then you should just never aspire to anything better. You should never care about anything outside your own purview. And of course, you should definitely 100% use a pretendicide overseas to deflect from any and all criticism.
Like, literally, no joke, the entire meaning of life is somehow confusing to Hassan Piker.
Again, not having the ability to aspire to be better, to be able to choose to do good or do things that put yourself and, of course, your family or your future family in a better position, and not even to be able to understand other people who would want to do that is a serious character defect, and Jank's nephew has that defect in spades.
Like, I'm sorry, that just pisses me off. Like, sitting in his ugly ass $600 Gucci sweater. I swear I've never seen this guy in a fucking normal ass t-shirt. Sitting on his high horse, looking down at people for wanting something more out of life. I don't understand how someone could be so mentally mind raped that this is their reaction to such like a simple, wholesome concept.
Again, couldn't have said it better myself. And by the way, I will point out the reason why Jank's nephew is always wearing those like audacious outfits is because of the pickup artist culture. They call this peacocking. And again, when you realize that Jank's nephew basically picked up his entire style and whatnot from people like Mystery, the pickup artist, it really reveals a lot about him. And again, yes, he can't understand the basic concept of what people would aspire to do, the whole meaning of life, which is to set up the next generation, your progeny, your legacy for success, because the guy puts forward a backwards ideology, a third worldist destructive ideology, and that is reflected in each and every one of his actions.
Bro, you were on the last Shuon Head video. I will literally shoot up with a gun if you bring that shit up in here, okay?
So after this wonderful rant from Shuon Head, Jank's nephew had it brought up to him in his stream, and of course he ended up freaking out, talking about how he would need brain damage in order to watch a Shuon Head video, and started talking about how she was irrelevant, even though again, Shuon Head has like 2 million subscribers, her videos get a crazy amount of views, and obviously this woman does have an impact, she does have an engaged audience, and Jank's nephew,
there we go, hating again.
Just straight up hating right here, if we're being perfectly honest.
Why? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to go out, purchase a shotgun, shoot myself in the face, not die in the process, but at least lose significant chunks of my fucking brain so I can operate at the same substandard, suboptimal IQ level that Shuon Head and her dumb audience operates in, so I can do a regular response to that? Is that what you want me to do? Do you want me to lose chunks of my brain? Do you want me to John Fetterman myself so I can understand the compelling argument that Shuon Head makes? One that should have been left in the dustbin of history all the way back in 2016. Ooh, look at me. I'm an emo girl and I change my politics all the fucking time. Ooh, look at me. As an emo girl, I look like that one meme on the internet. Okay? 4chan guys who are now 38 years old want to fap to me.
Notice how the self-described male feminist immediately makes this a sexual thing to try to make it as weird as possible, rather than address the actual criticism that was brought forward.
Why would you openly admit that you listen to Shoe-On-Head in 2026, man? What the f is wrong with you?
Apparently, Relevance isn't organic online success and, of course, a loyal audience. Relevance is being able to work with a PR firm to place all of these articles that are obviously simping for you, that you are in fact paying for, in all these different mainstream media outlets in order to cover up for all of your depraved and disgusting beliefs and habits.
Me, I'm an emo girl, and I change my politics all the time. Ooh, look at me as an emo girl.
Hey guys, Editing Sean here, and I realized during the course of this editing, because I shoot from memory, that he actually called her emo instead of a goth. But the thing is, I have this whole rant that I went on because I remembered him saying goth, even though he did say emo. So I'm gonna leave it in because I thought it was funny, but in your brain, just swap out emo with goth, because for some reason when I was growing up, all the goth kids ended up transforming into emos, and they basically fit the same exact parameters. Also, is this actually a goth look? Is Shoe-On-Head a goth? Because I always associated the goth look with how it's presented on South Park, and I always associated Shoe-On-Head's aesthetic and vibe with like a Long Island girl. Like, you know, you go into a Long Island coffee shop and you go to order something, and somebody who looks exactly like Shoe-On-Head, who has her exact same accent, will be like, "You want some milk with your coffee? You gotta put in the sugar over there." Like that's what I always associated her with. Maybe she works at like a Sephora or something of the sort. That's the vibe that I got. But apparently this might be goth, which I just don't believe. I associate goth with the super pale skin and the super blacked out makeup, and yeah, just being a little bit more over the top. But I don't know anything. Maybe this is actually the case, or maybe Jenks' nephew is just trying to distract from the fact that Shoe-On-Head has like organic growth that led to her success, and his growth is tied to him being a nepo baby. Again, he's Jenks' nephew. His uncle set him up with his first job in the industry, and then of course with leeching off of Destiny until he could promote himself to the point where he could go out on his own. Maybe that's what's going on right here. Maybe that's why he's targeting her and calling her a goth. But I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know if this lady is actually a goth. Again, tell me down in the comments below what even is a goth. So again, I didn't expect a substantive response from Jenks' nephew to any of these critiques, and that's because even this supposed slop tuber, and by the way, he says Shoe changed all of her political beliefs and does so very frequently. That's actually not true. She's changed some of her beliefs, again, and these are related to her becoming a parent, apparently, where she decided that she wasn't going to be so soft on crime or the issue of homelessness. She used to be in Long Island, and she moved to New York City. I believe this is what I hear. This is the word on the street. I ain't trying to dox nobody or anything of the sort, and that change in perspective actually changed her opinion. But overall, she still holds a lot of the left-wing beliefs that she's always held. She's still a Bernie Sanders person, and a lot of people that painted her as this right-wing figure back in the day did so disingenuously. Believe me, I would love it if Shoe-On-Head, super popular person on the internet.com, was a right-wing figure at any point in time, but the fact is, she just isn't. Like, it's just not true, and it's never been true. But again, Jenks' nephew smearing her, doing all this crazy stuff, and the crazy thing is that Jenks' nephew started his own attempt at his internet career doing bro tip, pickup artist stuff. Again, very unprogressive content, if you will, and when that didn't work out, he completely pivoted into something else. Shoe-On-Head was a success from the jump, so if she pivoted to different politics, that pivot would have likely hurt her, not helped her over time, unlike Jenks' nephew, who pivoted in a way that definitely benefited his career and led to all this mainstream adulation for him. But you know what? Those are just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think about all this down in the comments below. As per usual, if you like this video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on the social media, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about Shoe-On-Head. Just join Jenks' nephew. Till next time.
Now, Mr. he realizes that we're actually in an assassination culture, and there have been threats made on his life too. A lot of them, actually, that even I have seen. All right, just to understand the culture that we're living in, we are living in a culture where half of the country thinks it's morally acceptable to kill people you don't like. That is what they believe, even though they say that they don't. Their words actually they mean nothing because they don't believe in anything that they say. Their words are weapons, and don't fall for that garbage, all right? Listen, man, I'm just being real here. They use words to deceive and destroy you, and it's actually that simple.
Assassination culture, that's what I'm calling it. It's bad now, and it's gonna get a whole lot worse.
God, I love how he looks like some sort of hermit that rakes in $50 million a year.
I want to make this video because in 2, 5, 3, 10 years from now, I want to be able to go back to this video and say, see guys, I told you so. And if I'm not right, I'm going to delete the video. So anyway,
the legend,
this
the
has
goat.
been, I think, escalating. It's been going crazier.
Bro, this is literally how Muhammad prophesied shit in the Quran. I'm going to make a prophecy, and if it's not true, just delete this part. Oh my God.
Crazier. We've had now the 3rd, 5th, right? I lose count. How many attempts on Donald Trump's life? Somebody, well, I'm really mad. I'm gonna shoot the president. Oh boy. That's gonna solve all your problems.
True.
And so you have these people that are doing this, and this is really, really escalated ever since.
I really think that victim mentality is just so accepted everywhere right now. It's so sad. It really is. Black people can't succeed because of the white people can't succeed because of the Jews can't succeed because of the Muslims can't succeed because they keep bombing people all over the place and people don't like that so much. The men can't succeed because of women, the women can't succeed because of men. It's honestly diabolical. And you know what the solution to all your problems is? Well, if you believe in God, you pray, and if you don't believe in God, I guess you try to kill the president. That was a joke.
And I mean, let's be honest here. It's been escalating ever since BLM. That's whenever
Straight
being
facts.
crazy.
Straight facts. Because ultimately, law and order keeps our country alive. It does. And if you don't have law and order, then wait a second, you can get away with literally everything. And they got away with literally everything, and therefore everyone's like, hold up, we can just do shit now.
The retard became the socially acceptable thing to do.
Correct.
And now everybody's a crazy retard. And these are people who think that they are fighting for civil rights. It's like, you're not Rosa Parks sitting at the front of the bus whenever you're burning down an Uber driver's Tesla.
I mean, that Rosa Parks story was whatever. We don't need to get into the veracity and the verification of black history, okay?
Elon Musk made you mad. You're not fighting for civil rights, you're trying to take them away. Everybody wants to have an election, you don't like the way it turns out, time to burn everything down. Well, can you imagine what it would be like if everybody did this? Oh my God, it would be crazy. And this is the...
Yeah, they're illogical psychopaths, but they're also evil. All right, let's not forget that part.
Form of third worldism, and I talk about this a lot. I'm still on Twitch now, and I talk about this though.
He got banned for that.
Because this is the mentality of when the existing systems do not create the outcome that you like, even though all of the systems are working properly, you're being represented, you just simply don't have the numbers to achieve your goals. Whenever this happens to you, the result is not, well, I guess I have to work harder, I have to get more people to agree with me. No, the result is, now I'm going to set something on fire. I'm going to try to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to cause some sort of... I'm going to stand, get this guys, I'm going to stand in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
For Iran.
That's right.
Thank God, that's gonna
right.
save them.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
All the pedophiles in Iran that are getting blown up by Donald Trump, they are so great. Every single blue-haired, nose-ring, cow in the middle of the street.
Sure, exactly. And if anything, it's going to make the gas prices go even higher. So anyway, this is what I think is happening, is that people have socially normalized the act of bad behavior, violence, aggression, hostility, and they've done so.
A big part of that is because of lack of consequence. Another big part of that is because these are immoral shitlibs. These people are immoral retards. They're psychopaths.
With a righteous indignation.
And also they're lied to, right? They're like, it's on every single level. Right? You got the propaganda wing of the left, which is like the media, and they convince you that Donald Trump is a dictator, king, evil, war criminal guy or whatever. Right? Then you get the dipshits on the bottom rung of the ladder being like, holy fuck, it's moral to kill him because I don't like him.
That has enabled them to justify doing so as being heroes of their own story. Is it too many Marvel movies? I don't know. But it's too many something. Maybe it's too many antidepressants. I have no idea,
doesn't help.
but I know it's a big issue.
I think it's too little God. But you know, these their own. Everyone has their own solution.
And I think I know where things are going with this. Because we can't live in a society that's like this. You can't have a society where people steal things, people are being violent randomly, and people decide to kill elected representatives.
Yeah, hot take. We actually should enforce laws that exist. I feel like that would be very effective in a large way to actually.
Yeah, this guy kicks ass, man.
If you're part of some sort of giant riot that's lighting shit on fire or whatever.
I think I got a new favorite character.
You are part of a domestic terror movement. You
Boop,
need to go
I don't
to
need
jail.
those.
I actually think this would solve a lot of issues. You know, people would really stop doing that. People would stop going to violent riots that are firebombing police officers if every single person in that riot is immediately picked up and thrown into jail. I'm not lying. I really think that would solve the issue a lot. And I think that this works almost all the time. If you're actually going hard about it. You incite violence, okay, jail. All right, great. You won't be inciting violence again. And neither will your friend, because you just went to jail. I really feel like enforcing laws is pretty awesome and moral. All right. In fact, the perfect system ever, in my opinion, is the one God gave us. When it's like, oh, guy kills someone, you execute. Okay, awesome. The guy stole shit. Okay, all right. He has to pay back double whatever he stole. Oh, he can't afford to pay it. All right. Put him in indentured servitude to work off his debts. Thanks. No one would steal at all. No one would steal. Problem solved. You know, it's almost like enforcing laws is actually fucking awesome.
If you want a country like that, go to Africa. There's plenty of them. They're called PvP servers. I preferably don't want to be on one. So these people are trying to turn our normal country, and this is happening in Europe too. So if you're European and you're like, this doesn't apply to me, we don't have this problem.
Get out of here.
They're driving through the fucking crowds with trucks instead of guns. Oh wow, that's so much better.
Yeah, we have no gun deaths. Yeah, we have a stabbing every single day, but we have no gun deaths.
Guys have problems.
Good job, English.
This is a problem inside of all Western civilization because I
don't want to be rude here, and I feel like this might offend some people, but I'll be real. The positive forgiveness and graceful tendencies of Christian nations were being manipulated by largely feminists and retards, and I feel like that leads to every single issue in modern Western society.
I think that we have culturally not been willing to just put our foot down with these fucking freaks. These absolute.
And again, I think that is, first of all, what I said, that we need to enforce laws, but also that is exactly an absolute offshoot of this feminist bullshit that I was just talking about. It's literally a direct offshoot of it. Absolutely. Oh, we have to have mercy for criminals, mercy for terrorists, mercy for pedophiles, release them all. Oh, he didn't understand that rape is bad. He's from Somalia, where they rape all the time. They love rape there. Generational, genetic rapists or something. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't get involved. But we have to release them from jails forever. And this is literally what we're dealing with here.
Fucking deranged, mentally ill, violent, psychotic freaks that need to be put in a mental
Hey, buddy.
institution and
You coming in? You want to come in? Is that what we're getting at? Is that the cut of your jib? Alright, there you go. Now put your butt down there, lay like that so you can stare at me and lick my arm.
I go to CVS. Oh, I want to buy a candy bar. Well, let me go speak to the manager's manager so he can get the special key that was made by, the Wizard of Oz.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I went to Blue States. And I went to fucking Target. And I'm like, I would like to buy I don't remember what it was, like a deodorant or something. And they're like, the person working there didn't have the key. They had to call the special fucking guy to get the key to open the shit for the thing. Are we being serious, man?
To open it up for me to get a Reese's
peanut. I think we were in California when I was like actually crashing out about this. But to unlock special doors to get to the fucking underwear aisle, like there is an issue, man.
No, I don't think so, guys. And before you say, oh, well, they're stealing because they're poor.
Not an excuse. Sorry. We are the richest we've ever been in all of human history. Don't care. Shut up. No one's dying of hunger. That's one. And two, literally, and I mean this with love in my heart, it's not an excuse. Stealing is inherently immoral, and I don't care about how many Hassan Pikers talk about how stealing is actually good and awesome because of social murder or whatever the fuck. No, get out of here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't eat bacon, all right? No, they're not. They're stealing because they can and because they're getting away.
Also true.
And so we have a world where we have enabled and allowed this completely destructive behavior because people have been mentally guilt-tripped and emotionally manipulated into thinking that this is somehow the only outcome that a person can have. Well, I had things hard as a kid. That means I steal kids and I drive them down the highway at 150 miles an hour. Well, you know what? My dad wasn't around, so that means I get to burn down the 7-Eleven.
That's right.
I don't fucking think so.
That's right. That's because the victim culture that exists is like, it's this oppressor versus oppressed narrative that the neo-Marxists keep trying to push literally everywhere. And it's evil because it's not moral. Because its morality is founded on preferences and subjective bullshit. And there is no such thing as subjective morality. Period. All right, morality is objective. If you don't like it, lump it and move to Africa. True. Exactly. There you can have your subjective morality. Okay, move to a PvP server if you want your subjective morality.
I don't. And I don't think anybody else likes this either. I have what I call the 7-Eleven Eclair Index. Let me explain what that is.
All right, let's go.
We all know 7-Eleven Eclairs, right?
Yeah.
Right? I think we all, hopefully I'm not the big fat piece of shit here. I'm not fat and trans fat, but it's the same thing. And you go to 7-Eleven and they have the Eclairs in the little bakery goods thing. Well, I found that if you want to go late at night and you want to get one of those Eclairs, you have to go to a 7-Eleven that doesn't have any hobos or anybody around, like any of these random, somebody's talking to their knife. There's not going to be any Eclairs in that 7-Eleven. Let me tell you that.
That's true.
And so nobody wants to be around this shit. Nobody wants to deal with this, but nobody wants to say it because they've created this sort of like, some sort of moral cachet in complete societal dysfunction.
That's right.
And I think that it's reaching a fever.
I think it's toxic femininity, honestly. I think it's this hyper-feminized worldview about how actually you're the oppressed one, so therefore you deserve to rape me. And I don't believe in that at all.
I think if they ever succeed, let's say you shoot Trump. Oh yeah, all your problems are going to go away now with President J.D. Vance. Yeah, you should shoot him. Oh, well, now you got Marco Rubio. It's not going to work, right? You're going to have to shoot a lot more people than that, right? And in my opinion,
half the country,
is let's not shoot anybody. How about just bring a better candidate next time and get more of your guys out to vote, and maybe something will happen that's in your favor. But, we can't do that. And so,
how can I
you
oh my god.
In the leftist mind, Donald Trump is a threat to democracy and he's a dictator, right? Like, understand that. Right? Understand that they think he's immortal, right? Listen, everyone's like, MAGA people, they worship Trump. No. It's the leftists that think he's God and that he's somehow, like, infallible and this transcendental being that could just exist for eternity to destroy our country. They're the people that believe that, which is why they think they have some sort of moral obligation to stop it.
This is what I think things are going, is that we are reaching a position where there is so much just day-to-day societal dysfunction, just average dysfunction. Like you go to the store, like I went to Walmart and I went to buy a pack of underwear. This doesn't embarrass me because I've got a few gray hairs. But if I was 18, I would be mortified by this. The woman had to unlock the underwear case. Pull out the underwear, and I said, okay, can I have them? She says, yes, you can have them. I have to walk them up to the fucking register.
No.
And of course, you have like 17 different registers at the Walmart.
God, bro, Texas. This happened to Texas. I mean, I know he's from like Austin, right? That's like blue Texas, but that's a knife in the heart.
3 of them, no, that's not true. 1 of them is open. And so I go there, I'm sitting in this long line, and she says, yeah, he's buying underwear, he's underwear for him. And it's like, oh my god, it's mortifying, it's embarrassing, right? And again, like, it's the kind of thing that, you get old enough and you just laugh at it. But whenever you're younger, it's ridiculous. And I still laugh at it, but it's for a different fucking reason. I'm mortified for a different reason. I'm mortified that I'm living in a minimum security prison. The entire world is being turned into a minimum security prison so we can accommodate the bottom 2% of the bad actors in our society. Everybody has to live in this because we don't want to put them in. It drives me fucking crazy. It makes me so angry. And I think people are getting tired of this. I think eventually what's going to happen...
The Law and Order candidate's going to win the next election. And I don't know who it is. I don't know. Because obviously you're going to have the leftists that are saying we're going to jail the corruption on Trump's side. You're going to have the right-wing people saying that actually stabbing people in public is not a very nice thing to do. All right. And then ultimately, it's the Law and Order candidate that's going to win the next election.
is there's going to be somebody that runs for government, somebody that runs for office.
That's right. We're gonna get ourselves a Bukele or something that's gonna finally fucking obliterate the judge cartel. It's gonna happen. A lot of people think that, oh my god, I'm so black.
Alright, hang on, I gotta run to the bathroom.
Absolutely, that's not a lie. However, don't get too black-pilled, alright? The white pill is that we are waking the fuck up in droves and we're tired of this shit and we're gonna tear this shit down. We're gonna elect radical fucking retards that are gonna do this. Alright? Don't get me wrong, it's gonna happen.
Says, I'm gonna stop this. And they will.
Oh yeah.
And it's not gonna be a
And the
good...
left is gonna cry, and they're gonna call him a dictator, and he's gonna say, I don't care what you call me, your boos mean nothing, I've seen what makes you cheer. And he's gonna put them in jail, and it's gonna be great.
thing. And the thing is that, and everybody will be happy for this, because you have to remember, I think it was Benjamin Franklin that said, the people who desire safety over freedom deserve neither, right? Or something, some variation of that, right? Well, this is the problem with what Benjamin Franklin said. Back then, they didn't have universal suffrage. Now they do. And when everybody can vote, most people are going to choose safety every single fucking time. So we have a society of people that will, I think, whenever the time is right, willingly and beg for Minority Report. And not, I don't mean...
Yeah, we are going to eventually, and this is going to be one of the biggest cataclysmic shifts in the country, and we'll never go back after this. We are going to vote out democracy at some point. And I'm excited for it, because democracy is kind of bullshit.
Reporting a black person. I mean the movie. I'm talking about somebody going and actually having, you know, like databases on them, like eye tracking. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but they're now mandating, you know, cameras in cars now to be able to detect and turn on and turn off cars at will. And
by the way, a ton of Republicans voted for that shit.
Well, to detect things like drowsiness and other types of inattentive driving behavior. So this is where things are going. And the problem is that if you have enough drunk driving, and if you have enough texting and driving, and you have enough of everything in between, you're going to have people that are asking for that. And I think that's the world that we're going towards. And I think this is a very sad thing. I don't want to live in 1984. I don't want to live in, I mean, honestly, in some cases, and I think a lot of people, like I say, I don't want to live in China. But then I'm thinking to myself, well, if you look at Dubai, if you look at China, you look at Singapore, and you look at El Salvador now, you go Google Maps, and I'm not saying everywhere, but many of these places, they're very nice, and there's not shit everywhere.
Because they fucking obliterate crime. That's it. They actually have law and order, and they've turned society into paradise.
And there aren't a bunch of people sitting around, you know, having a fire with plastic and tires. And so this isn't happening, and they're like passed out like fat zombies. And so I think that what's happening is that this is either a colossal amount of mismanagement that is so bad that it will be seen historically as like an age of decline, or it is being done intentionally. This dysfunction, this unrest.
I think so for sure. Of course, it's what are we even talking about? This could get solved. We could do things actually. The fact that we're deciding not to do things is very obvious, and it's because the left wants power. So they import infinite retards, they turn up the temperature forever, right? Kill your opponents and stuff like that. They have no moral grounding, so they're more than happy to do that. And then you're gonna have this entire gaggle of dipshits that are brought in from third world countries that are all gonna vote for leftists, that are gonna bring in more of their cousins from third world countries. All the criminals are gonna vote for leftists because they want the free shit, so the criminals want to be able to vote. The criminals don't want to go to jail. The drug addicts want more drugs. The poor people that don't want to get a job, they want to get free shit from the rich people, right? So they are literally pandering to the lowest forms of society possible in order to rig elections, to win and to gain power. So of course it's done on purpose. Every single person that gets away with a crime is going to vote left. All of them.
All of these problems are being done intentionally so they can manifest the reality of the next police state, the Patriot Act 2, the you know, the furthering of the reduction in privacy. You know, do you want to be texting your friend? And
look, man, England is starting to jail people for banning emojis that could be constituted as hate speech. All right, it's gonna happen here if we let the left keep doing its shit.
And you make a joke, and it's about something blowing something up, and then immediately you have the police coming, and they're shutting down your service because it's been AI parsed, and they have like a complete apparatus, and they're using telemetry, and they're trying to figure out, oh wait a minute, this guy, I think he's the one. This could be Al Qaeda. He could be radicalized. It could be one of those incels.
I love Al Qaeda.
With a bomb, and then before you know it, you're on a list, and you can't use an airplane.
look, we're making these jokes. They're arresting people in England for like making jokes and shit in private too. Like private WhatsApp messages got people in jail already in England. Like this is so inevitable.
And no,
if we let the left keep winning.
I don't want to be in that world. I don't want to live in that world. It's ridiculous. But the problem is that because we're not taking the reasonable countermeasures to solve this, I think that the only outcome is that we will have an unreasonable consequence for not solving it because it will be solved in a more extreme way. Fundamentally, this type of lifestyle cannot continue. This level of dysfunction cannot continue. You can't have people that are just stealing things wantonly out of every store. Stores are going to be closing, and they already do. And then what happens when that happens? Well, people lose their jobs. What happens when they lose their jobs? Well, they're stealing from the remaining stores. So then the remaining, you see how this happens. You see, this is the third worldism that I'm talking about. We can't live in this world. This isn't
And we're importing people with that ideology. And of course it affects people. And colleges teach it. And communism is this.
To work. And so my plea and my ask for so many people, and these are people in the government, people that listen to me and everybody, is that please stop allowing our culture to be colonized by absolute fucking savages.
Yeah.
Why are we allowing ourselves to be totally ruled over by the bottom 2% of people that should be locked in a box for the rest of their life? At least. And this is the thing. I think that this is the most reasonable and the most acceptable way to do this. And the reason why is because if we don't have that, those people rule over you.
Absolutely.
They rule over you.
Of course they do.
I don't think you're going to have some big mass.
They'll just assassinate you if they don't like you, and the entire culture will get together, patting each other on the back. This is the toxic feminine bullshit about how the one girl sleeps with somebody, and then the rest of the class all calls her a whore. They're all also sleeping with people, and they're all patting each other on the back for calling her a whore. And then one person doesn't want to sleep with people, and then they're all laughing at her for being a prude. And it's the same shit. And we're dealing with this on a cultural level because we have unchecked, female, toxic, feminine garbage polluting everything. Right? And then, too, by the way, we have these feminized manlets with these beta cocks wandering around, fucking around to basically please their overlords. Maybe they'll give them some attention or something to make them feel not completely pathetic and miserable.
Class awakening. You're not going to have the communist revolution. No, if worst case scenario, the rich people will pay half the poor people to kill the other half. So I'm not really getting excited, and I don't think you should either. I always see all these people on TikTok and stuff like that get this stuff sent to me, and they're saying, "Well, I can't wait for the revolution." If somebody has a 9mm gun and a Kevlar vest that they got off of Temu. Oh yeah, you're definitely ready for the revolution, buddy. So we have this overwhelming sense of just complete hubris and bravado that people have on these social media apps. Like this is going to be anything other than a complete crime against humanity. And all I'm saying is that I would rather this problem be a page in the history books instead of an entire chapter. And I think we're moving towards the chapter. Please, can we can we get these crazy people under control before we all have to be under
For the love of God, we have laws. Enforce them. Please. Please! But the left doesn't believe in that because they actually don't believe in law and order because they don't believe in some sort of objective moral framework. So they completely reject the notion of laws being applied equally to everybody. Right? They claim they're for equality. They're not. It's all a manipulation, and so many people are falling for it. They're like, all we need to unite. It's an ideology that needs to be destroyed. It needs to be eradicated from this entire country. Completely. Shamed and humiliated.
Control, can we please do this? And I had to make a video and talk about this because it's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous what's going on and how we've allowed this to happen. And I want to make this is a plea to everybody. This is a very important value system that I have. I think this is the core tenet of Western civilization. What is Western civilization? Roman law, Greek philosophy, Christian morality. That's what it is.
Oh, holy shit, I did forget to set them free.
Is that the rule? Yes, it is. And I would like to go back to that.
Well, we're importing people that don't believe in that at all.
I would like to go back to that, and I'd like to live in a place where I don't have to go through checks and balances to purchase underwear at Walmart. So anyway, guys, I wanted to make this video in light of the recent assassination.
Yeah.
assassination, and the other amounts of just complete and total unrest that I've seen recently.
Yeah, and one thing that he's not saying, which obviously is true, everyone's getting death threats. Maybe on the left also, I don't know, I doubt it. But everyone on the right is, and everyone I speak to is, all right? I know I am. Nick Shirley just made a video of people, trying to kill him. Aspen Gold is talking about this because he probably sees it firsthand, the amount of death threats he gets. I see them, they're public. Absolutely nothing's getting done about any of this. It is not protected by freedom of speech, and it's an insane environment to exist in. It's like we're living underground, taught by an entire civilization that there is no such thing as sky. And if you question that, you're a fascist Nazi that's morally acceptable to kill. Now, the solution to this, ironically, I think, is a lot more straightforward than everyone's saying. All right, we need infant voting and policies and radical politicians. Absolutely, don't get me wrong. There is a very fundamental solution to this, which, in my opinion, is we need to become strong men. We need to actually become powerful fucking people. We need to actually become moral, good, thought-out, intelligent people that are successful, that get married, that have children, that raise them well, with good values and good ideologies. It's funny watching everyone crap all over religion, but if you actually follow the words of God in the Bible, it will lead you to the best lifestyle you can possibly imagine. Criminals go to jail, people get married and have families. It's honestly incredible stuff. And it's this generation of strong men that will save Western civilization, inevitably, because the alternative is war. And I'd really rather that not happen. Look, I look over the pond at England, and I really don't want to become England. I really don't want to become England, man. We do not want to live like this, and we won't. We will change things, and we will win. And I'm very confident of that, because honestly, I have faith in my fellow Americans. I have faith in my fellow God-fearing American patriots that love our country and aren't willing to just sacrifice it on the altar of infinite mayhem, abortions, and chaos. Because we're better. We are the best civilization in the history of the world, and we're going to prove it. Lock in. It's going to be a bumpy ride. They're going to keep trying to kill you. But hey, at least we're not England.
I still remember a long time ago, I must have been in elementary school at the time, my parents had on the news and a story came on about a local man that had killed someone over a single dollar. And I thought to myself, what a stupid asshole. That instantly landed him on Santa's naughty list, and I couldn't imagine a more dumb thing to throw your life away over. Killing someone for a single buck. One clam. And now as a 31-year-old man, I see how silly I was in my youth. It's so cringe how naive I was back then. Makes me want to
God damn it!
Because killing someone over $1 doesn't even make the top 10 list for dumbest things people are willing to kill over. I want to show you number 1 though. The dumbest thing people are actively fighting and shooting each other over, Pokemon cards. Earlier this month I covered the Pokemon card.
Oh my god.
And now I want to show you probably the biggest fight I've seen over Pokemon cards that just unfolded yesterday. I also didn't even cover the pseudo-police chase that happened after a Pokemon card-related scuffle in a parking lot. Like, it's just complete pandemonium. People are actually taking this to the extreme where fights, a shooting, and I'm sure there will be death related to Pokemon cards pretty soon, because that's where all of this is going. It is so unbelievably pathetic and embarrassing.
Look at this shit.
Whoa, what the fuck? There's a lot to unpack here, and this isn't the only angle. We actually have the director's cut, which is about 2 minutes of bonus footage here that shows everything leading up to it, and then even more of the fight. This is just a 30-second, like, montage meatball, you know? So a bit of a war. There was a Pokemon restock. Uh-oh, sound the alarms, red alert, Thunderdome online. Pokemon restocks are literally where people go to just exchange knuckle sandwiches as they fight over Pokemon product to try and scout online. They try and get their grubby claws on as much as they can at Target, Walmart, Costco, Best Buy, whatever. They line up for hours, overnight, camping out from fucking like midnight all the way to like 8 a.m., camping out for their chance to get their hands on Pokemon products. I've shown you tons of videos of these incredibly long lines wrapping around the entire goddamn county to get there. And then when they do unleash the horde, it always turns into shit like this. But typically it's a lot of bumping and grinding, a lot of like basketball boxing out. They just kind of throw their ass in a circle to, you know, get them away from the product. It's not often that it's a full-blown skirmish like this, but it's always messy. And it does sometimes get pugilistic. This one's a little more on the upper scale of what that looks like. That had like a takedown, a little ground and pound action. But all in all, Pokemon restocks are the most dangerous places in America. When Pokemon restocks happen, it's like the purge going online. So you need to just stay indoors, lock down, and just fucking sleep in fear. Now, when we pan around after seeing the initial charge at the shelves here, we already see the protagonist on the floor kind of sprawled out. I think the guy in the tank top was the one that started it by shoving that guy to the ground in order to better secure his spot at the shelves so he could gluttonously get as much as he can. And then the guy gets up off the ground and then just fucking bull rushes him, slams him into the shelves, which disrupts all of the other scalpers there. One guy right next to him with the long hair does one of these with a box in his hand. He wants no part of that action, which is understandable, but if you're not looking for a fight, why are you going to a Pokemon restock? This is a fight.
Oh, shit.
You should expect it. You can literally
Alright,
see
I'm
the
logging
stick
out,
fuse
guys. I'm
coming
getting a
off of
headache
these
again.
users too, by the way. These
I'll see you guys in the morning.
Are the ones that are ruining this hobby. Also, don't be like them. Don't be a smelly asshole. Fix your hygiene. Use Cheeky soap. Best soap in the universe. Our queso bar is out now. Go to usecheeky.com. Best soap ever. You're going to be feeling amazing after your shower. You're going to be smelling great.